I'm Paula Nutting, your Musculoskeletal Specialist, and today I'd like to introduce you to Ben. He's going to help me with one of those great mysteries of the Western world, and that is, why are our hamstrings so tight? Are you ready, Ben?
Yep.
Great. So the first thing he's going to do is try to straighten his back, straighten his knees, and try to touch toes. Alright, so we've got about this much length between fingers and toes and a shaking body. I'm going to take a look now and test to see what's really going on. Is it a tight hamstring that's the problem, or is it part of the solution of how we deal with weak muscles in our core? I've got Ben lying down on his back now, or supine, and I'm going to test as a therapist would test. So we are looking at his hamstring length in this actual position, and then I'm going to test to see what kind of strength Ben has with his hip flexor group, or his psoas as we call them. First up though, let's go. Alright, taking his leg, bringing it up until he feels it tight. Okay, so it's showing us tight. It's showing us probably 40, 45 degrees. 90 is a position that we would be hoping for. I'm going to take it into an external rotation, which is in line with the fibers of the psoas. These muscles attach at the front of the vertebra, all the way down the lumbar spine and the very last thoracic. I'm going to stabilise his hip, because if he's got lower back pain, he's not going to want to be allowing me to let go of this leg. Ben, can you hold your leg up for me? Great, so he's holding that leg up. Don't let me push it down. So we're holding it up, and as you can see, it's failed quite quickly. That tells me his hip flexors are weak, and we're now going to strengthen them up and then check his hamstring length again to see if we've made a difference. So one positive assessment done, one hopefully positive treatment to do. The neurolymphatic points, or Chapman reflex points, that we're going to activate are housed around the umbilicus, or the belly button. And traditionally what I do, and I find that it works quite well for them, is I use 2 or 3 fingers and I rub gently to try to wake up any congested lymphatic neural activity that might be going on there. We've got a lot of lymph that sits in the body, and it's quite superficial, so when you're doing this at home, you don't have to rub very deep. It's more vigorous and promotes kind of a stimulation and helps move sluggish lymph if that's exactly what's going on. 30 seconds. How's that feel, Ben?
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. Sometimes it can be a bit ticklish, sometimes it can be very tender. So not everyone is the same. Alright, that's 30 seconds, and we're going to retest to see what's happening with our hamstring length and our hip flexor strength. We've just woken up and facilitated, and now we're going to retest to see what's happening to our length, but more importantly, what's happening to the strength. Ready?
Yep.
Great. Up that leg comes. Just tell me when you start feeling tight. I'm hoping that we're going to get a little bit more range than what we did, and we've actually already passed it. It feels quite a little bit softer. Where are you feeling? Nothing? Nothing?
Starting at about there.
Alright, so that's a huge, huge difference. Let's have a look at the strength, because what I did was the strength component. Hold that leg up for me. Don't let me push it down. So you can see there is a massive, massive change, and we're going to test and see how he goes with that seated hamstring length, just to confirm one other point. Last piece of the puzzle, let's see if Ben has got an increase. We had about this much difference between the fingers and the toes. Shall we retry?
Yep.
Okay, let's go. Alright, there we go. How are you feeling?
Stretching.
He could stay here all day though. Not really, but that's a great move, and this will help you if you have tight hamstrings and don't realise that it's not actually the hamstrings that's the problem. The incidence of lower back pain is massive in the Australian population, not only to say the world. The volume of people who have tight hamstrings that come to see me in the clinic would be almost 90 to 100%. The only ones that don't are the people that are super hyperflexible and then they have their own issues. How many times are you told by Google or anybody else that you should stretch those hamstrings? I mean, we've all said it for years, I've been saying it, and I agree that you should have a stretching of hamstring component in your exercise and flexibility routine. But if they're not the problem, we need to address the problem. They're only the symptom, they're only the dog that's barking, telling you that there's something going on that we need to test. The testing is in the strength, and the strength is in the core. And the core, the base of the core, is part of our hip flexor range. If you don't have a tight, strong, flexible, well-balanced hip flexor, then your back is going to be tight and pulled. If your back is tight and pulled, other muscles have to take on a role. And the hamstring's role in this is to shorten to help with your balance and your stability. This is a really important test that you can do, and such a simple way to treat it. Test yourself by touching toes. If they're tight and you know they're tight, or if your back is sore and you know it's sore, especially in the mornings, give your belly a rub. It feels good, and it's a great way to start the day. If you like these, please give me the thumbs up. I'd love you to subscribe to these newsletters because they're all about getting you the most relevant information, and these are all on YouTube, so why not subscribe to that too?